Alright, so my name is Kylie and this is my dream office. The mission of this project was to create a 20 by 20 space that contains your dream office. This space needs to hold up to 5 people and include a bathroom, waiting area, your desk, and one more workspace. My vision of the space was to create a feeling of comfort and ease. It should feel like a home in the Northwoods of Minnesota, a place often associated with vacation. I want the space to feel cozy and comfortable to all people who enter. I want people to know that they are in a place that they can feel comfortable to create and collaborate with one another. So my theme of the space that I came up with was the Cozy Northwoods Escape. And this is the logo that I created for the space. You can see that there's both a sense of coziness and like the up north escape. So my design style was a modern rustic, so the rustic charm and warmth with modern amenities. So I included raw woods, windows, stone. I brought I brought the outside nature inside. So just having the big windows all over the space and really the woods from outside, the stones from outside, that type of stuff. And then I also included an A-frame, which is popular in a lot of rustic styles. And then I just had simple natural colors, so with my fabrics and curtains and furnishings that created just like this slick, clean feeling. Very calming. So this was my design strategy. So I picked out some of the materials that I wanted to incorporate. So you can see the stones in the woods. And then in the second to last wood is more of like the modern wood. So combining like the modern slick wood with the rustic woods often seen in rustic design styles. And then you can see I attached a photo on the side that you can just see has the neutral colors with pops of neutral blues, very light, and then a very harmonious feel with the colors that I have on the bottom. They're all very calming colors, not bright and more muted colors. So for spatial definition, I have defined my spaces in a few different ways throughout my space. So starting with my desk on the bottom right, you can see that this space was defined by the carpet on the floor. So this carpet outlines the space of the desk. On the bottom left, you can see the couches that kind of are formed in a space where it creates its own space using the furniture. And then the top, you can see that the railing creates that top section. Basically, just the elevated surface also creates its own space, not just the railing. And then the two posts that I have highlighted vertically kind of outline the front area when you first walk in, the entrance. And then on the center left, you can see the two overhang lights. So over there, I have a little seating area. So that could be defined by the table, but also the two lights kind of give it its own spatial definition. So for closure, the enclosure within the space is encapsulated when all windows and doors are shut. All boundaries are sealed. So this space is basically one rectangle that is all enclosed within one space. The size and form of the space. So the size of the space is 25 feet by 35 feet. The ceiling is 15 tall, but gradually comes to a point in the middle at 20 feet. The size could be considered generous. The form of my space is a rectangle, and the ceiling is an A-frame, so it comes to a point in the middle. Spatial relationships and textures. So my rooms are separated using different relationships. They are all create one overall feeling, but different spaces evoke different emotions. So for example, the waiting area is more of a calm, resting area, like gathering your thoughts before meetings. And then the upstairs area where I have the little coffee bar creates a different emotion when you're up there. And then just the other meeting area underneath that is a little bit more formal. So that would create a different emotion, but they all have one relationship together using my design strategy and style. The textures used in the space are sleek neutrals with stone, wood, and carpet materials. The texture in the space creates comfort and calmness. So approach. So I'm going to now go through the steps that you take while entering my space. So The first step is approach, so the moment you decide to go in. So somebody's approach could be created because they have a meeting that they want, a collaboration that they want, or just me approaching the space as I'm going to go to work. So arrival, when you first open the doors, so the doors of the space are the French doors behind that post on the left. So you first arrive into the space and you open up the two French doors. The waiting area, so the waiting area is the couches facing the fireplace and the TV screen. So this is just a living area that is very cozy and relaxed where people can feel comfortable before they start their meetings, gather their thoughts and things. So moving towards the destination. So for my space, I have the main desk, but I decided that for my other workspaces, I wanted to have a few different areas. Because my space is about comfort and being relaxed, I don't want the standard meeting room where people have the big conference table and stuff like that. So upstairs, I have the little Northwoods Brew. So that's an area that's kind of like a coffee bar, and then there's a high top table. So instead of sitting across from one another, you sit next to each other. So it's more of a collaboration than one person leading it. You just kind of work together, which goes along with my comfort and relaxed feeling that I want the users in the space to feel. And then another destination that could be another workspace is the top or the left side. So there's a little L-shaped bench and then a table, so that way you can kind of work next to each other, but like be able to kind of have your own space, but it's still not across from one another, which is what I want to avoid. So moving to my destination, I guess there isn't one destination. It's kind of what the user wants is comfortable. So you can see here the different ways you would move towards whatever destination you choose. So arriving at the destination. So here are my 3 destinations which you could arrive at. So for my target activity, this is one of the areas that I talked about that you could be meeting at. I guess there's a few different meeting areas, so this is just one example of one. Side trips, so as you can see right when you walk in, the first thing on your left is the restrooms, which is located underneath the staircase. And then I also, within my space, as you can see, my logo had that cursive font, so I used that for the restroom sign as long as the coffee bar upstairs. So I kind of wanted to create like a cohesive fonts and logos that kind of work as wayfinding throughout my space. So secondary activities, so this is what I was talking about before. My upstairs loft is kind of like the calming, relaxing engagement area. So you can see on the left there's the 2 hammocks, which is just like if you wanted to relax or have a different setting. You can see all throughout my space I have different types of seating and a ton of different ways and places that you could work on your projects and collaborate with people or just work on your own and feel comfortable and relaxed. So the hammocks on the left also were part of my bringing inside or the outside inside. So a secondary activity could be coming up to the Northwoods Brew area and grabbing a cup of coffee and just relaxing between work or while working. And then moving towards the exit, so you go back down the stairs or you leave that L couch area and you move back towards the French doors. There are also French doors on the right of the stairs, and these can be another way that you can exit depending on where you are coming from. So the 2 doors also have lights on each side, so that's kind of a last impression of the space. They're cozy lights that just kind of wrap the whole space up. So here, final departure, I'm kind of at the door, and then you can see across it is the other door in which you could exit. So for occasion, the occasion of this space is just everyday work, meetings, and possibly collaborating with other clients and people. The players in this space would include myself, friends, clients, and collaborators. Some resources in this building include chairs, tables, couches, work areas, kitchen-like space, restrooms, lights, TVs. There are a ton of resources within this space just to allow people to have different areas and places to work. And then the surroundings outside of this space will be the nature of northern Minnesota. So I picture a lake across the big windows behind the main desk. So like that's the first thing you see is this big overlooking the lake. And then because of all the windows and doors around the area, there's going to be the woods and nature like theme outside, which you would be able to see through all the windows. So it's kind of bringing the outside in. Oh my goodness. So for my persona is a 20-year-old freelance designer who loves spending time in northern Minnesota. She loves to design in a calm and relaxing setting. The clients in this space will be over the age of 20 of all different professions. Some designers, some people looking for design work. So they are in the space to talk and to discuss designs they would like to receive. When visitors and clients enter my space, I want them to feel comfortable. This feeling will empower them to have meaningful conversations with me and to feel comfortable coming back. So, again, with my collaboration idea, more than the me talking at them or them talking at me, working together as one. So, for arousal, pleasure, and dominance, so the enrichment that produces low arousal, mild pleasure, and some dominance will be cozy and enjoyable and produce a relaxed and comfortable overall feel. So that was what I was kind of aiming at this part. Our emotional reaction and the possible feelings. So again, the low arousal, mild pleasure, and some dominance, which I think this feeling demonstrates very well and creates that cozy and enjoyable feeling that I was aiming for. So the function space and place. Again, my office is located in northern Minnesota, overlooking a lake and in its own separate building. So the function is to do the work and collaborate and have meetings, and then the space is its own separate building, and then the place is in northern Minnesota. So I think one of the main landmarks of my office would be my loft area, the Northwoods Brew. Be kind of a fun area where you could say, hey, meet up at the Northwoods Brew to go before you go somewhere, or to meet there and have lunch together, something like that. So the initial impression I want people to feel when entering this space is cozy, relaxed, comfortable. And I want this impression to be for all of the personas, both myself and the clients and customers. I believe that like when you feel comfortable and relaxed, you're able to really tell other people how you feel and feel comfortable, and it also creates the feeling of trust. You don't feel that pressure and like you can't say how you feel. So paths and nodes. So I just started by showing the line of first entering, going to the front desk, and then moving towards the waiting area. Just because this area is a free circulation, so there's not one set path. People basically move all over due to me having multiple workspaces and areas, not having just that one meeting room and office. So that is why I did not create or show the paths, because it is the free circulation. But for the nodes, there's basically four main nodes: the waiting area, the main desk, and then the L-shaped couch area, and the Northwoods Brew area. So those are the points of areas of heightened activity, um, and then the significant intersections. So these are the places where you would see the most activity and people in them. So for understanding, ideation, and development, so my first step was understanding, so just understanding the context, the surroundings, buildings, and players. So I really had to decide what type of people would be in my office, what type of building I wanted to create, what was going to be happening within the building, what needed to happen in the building, and then the surroundings both outside of the space and within the space. So once I fully understood the context, I could then move on to the ideation phase. So this is where I created my design concept, which was both my vision and then my design style and my design strategy, which made me create my logo. And then when I created my mood board, I kind of just demonstrated the materials I would like to use and then the colors and fonts, things like that. So I was kind of moving towards development, but once I reached development, that's when I started to actually create the layout, furnishings, and putting all of my concept into the space. So order, enrichment, and expression. So the order is just the balanced and harmonious arrangements. So my design style, I stuck to those five main colors, and then I stuck to the two wood materials, the brick material and the carpet material. So using the same materials throughout the whole space kind of created the harmony. And I think another harmonious aspect of this is the calm feeling. So using the neutrals and sticking with my design style, which had the the woods contrasted with just the slick, plain, muted colors. So creating that calm sense, not a ton of commotion. So for enrichment, this is reducing the degree of regularity. So um, basically creating my non-boring office. So having that area up top where you can look out the hammocks, the big windows, the ton of different work areas. It's not the traditional office where you would go to the main desk and then you'd be brought into like a conference room or a 1v1 room area, having the restroom underneath the stairs. It kind of has its own unique style, which enriches the setting. And then for expression, every design expresses something. The interior embodies particular essence of the group using it. So the expression of this space is that kind of fun, up north, woodsy Minnesota theme. So that is the rest of my presentation of my dream office. Thank you.